Episode 2, The Cry in the Alley. Location: West Side Chicago, Garfield Park, 3 days after the corner confrontation. Ezra sat on the front steps of the church that Jesus Christ himself has founded. The Austin Church of Christ, an old storefront turned sanctuary. He'd been praying longer than usual. Not for protection. Not even for power. "Lord," he said softly, "show me who you see. I don't want to walk by people you're calling me to." That night, he got an answer, not in a dream, but in a sound. The whisper. It came around midnight. A whisper, not through his ears, but through his spirit. A single word, "Go." He threw on his coat and slung his Bible over his shoulder like a sword. He didn't need to know where. The Spirit would show him. Ezra followed the pull-down Jackson Boulevard, past shuttered liquor stores and dark alleys filled with shattered bottles and forgotten souls. The air was thick with grime and despair, but his steps never slowed. And then, he heard it. A man crying behind a dumpster. Not just sobbing, wailing. Deep. Soul-heavy. Ezra turned into the alley and saw him. An older black man wrapped in rags, beard wild, eyes burning with something beyond pain. "They don't listen." The man shouted to the sky. "They don't see. The city is bleeding. The fire's coming." Ezra froze. That wasn't madness. That was prophetic warning. "Sir," Ezra said gently. "What's your name?" The man stood slowly. He looked half-starved, but his voice thundered with clarity. "My name is Elijah. And God has been speaking to me." Ezra's eyes widened. This man wasn't insane. He was sent. Elijah's warning. Elijah stepped forward, finger pointed to the sky. "There's a man in City Hall, Alderman Rashawn Doyle. You know him?" Ezra nodded. "Yeah. Talks smooth. Claims to help the hood." "Lies," Elijah said, trembling. "He's taking bribes. Feeding the gang's weapons under the table. Hollowing out housing projects to build luxury towers. He's silencing those who speak." Ezra felt a stirring in his chest. The word within him began to move. "What do you want me to do?" he asked. Elijah stared directly at him. "You bear the word. The sword of the Spirit. God will give you what to say, in front of him. Not behind his back." Ezra nodded. The confrontation at City Hall. 2 days later, Ezra walked into the alderman's office during public visitation hours. He wasn't dressed like a politician, he wore a hoodie that read, "Kingdom over Culture," and his Bible was visible in his hand. "Mr. Doyle," he said, stepping up as the aide tried to wave him off. The alderman looked amused. "A young preacher boy. What's this, street ministry?" Ezra's eyes glowed, not physically, but spiritually. He opened his Bible without looking. "Isaiah 10, he said aloud. "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and write grievousness which they have prescribed." The room shifted. A low pressure filled the air like a coming storm. The aides stepped back. The alderman blinked, visibly sweating. "You have oppressed the poor," Ezra continued. "You've betrayed the people who trusted you. But God sees. And his judgment begins now." Suddenly, lights flickered. The office grew heavy, like it was being weighed in the scales of heaven. Doyle stood up, trying to look tough. "Boy, you better leave before security." "It's too late," Ezra interrupted. "You've already been exposed." And just like that, Elijah's prophecy unfolded. That same week, news broke. Leaked documents, recorded calls, bribery scandals. Alderman Doyle was indicted and arrested. Aftermath. Ezra returned to the alley where Elijah had been, but he was gone. Only a folded piece of paper rested where he once sat. It read, "Speak loud, young lion. The city still sleeps. And the fire's not done falling."